7 months ago, I decided, hey, making games can't be that hard, right? With basically zero experience, I was pumped, overconfident, and running on pure caffeine. Since then, I've actually released 3 games and abandoned way too many projects to even count. So let's do a little recap of this chaotic journey so far. About 3 years ago, I got my diploma in software development. Back then, the job market was rough, no jobs in my area, and online freelancing looked harder than it should. Still, I loved coding and messing around with art, and somewhere in that time, I got the idea to make games, but I never really committed. My cycle basically was installing Unity, binge a few Brackeys tutorial, quit after 2 weeks, and repeat. Fast forward to this year, this time I told myself I'd actually stick with it. Around the same time, Unity had their whole drama, so I jumped the ship and I found Godot, and honestly, best decision ever. My first game with Godot, I managed to finish it with 4 days, plus some untracked hours I'm not admitting to. Was it good? For me, it was a huge milestone. The coding was super basic, the art was, let's just say, abstract trash, but it was finished, and finishing the game felt really amazing. So yeah, it was the perfect starting point, a messy, janky, but awesome learning journey. I'd personally rate it a solid beginner out of 10. Shortly after finishing that first project, I wanted to take a step into 3D, which of course meant learning 3D modeling, and suddenly dealing with an extra axis, like 2 weren't already enough. I went to a trustable friend of mine, and I was told the best way to start with 3D modeling is with low poly characters. So I looked up some tutorials and gave it a try, and yeah, the results were pretty rough. Let's just say the characters I made were really something else. But even though it wasn't pretty, it was still a solid learning experience. With that, I started working on my second project, this time a retro style horror game. I've always liked horror games, and it felt like a good idea. Coding was actually simple, core logic came together quickly, but then came evil scary character model. I was aiming for something really terrifying, and ended up with something that made me laugh every time it showed up on the screen. Not really the reaction you want from a horror game. I mean, look at this, it looks cute rather than scary. Seriously, that's when the progress kind of stalled. I released my first devlog about it, which was exciting in itself, but after that I hit a wall. The game reached a stop for me, but it taught me a lot. Mostly that 3D is a whole new challenge. Creating something scary is way more harder than it looks. Around that time, the Brackeys game jam was happening. Now, before I even started this whole journey, I used to binge Brackeys videos all the time. He was honestly a big inspiration for me to get into game dev in the first place, and I'd been subbed for him for years. Speaking for subs, a subscribe from you will really help me a lot. No pressure. So I joined the jam, team came out, and I ended up making a game called The Interview. Basically, it was a collection of little mini games you had to complete, and while working on it, I picked up tons of new skills really quickly. Dialogue systems, drag and drop mechanics, and a bunch of other little things that I had never done before. The art, yeah, pretty bad, very minimal. But here's the cool part. Out of over 2,000 submissions, my game ranked around 600, which isn't exactly winning gold, but for me it felt like a big achievement. After the game jam, I went back to look at my horror game, and honestly, my reaction was like, brother, ew. It was too simple, not scary at all, and honestly not even fun. So I scrapped it and started all over again. This time I switched the setting from outdoors to creepy mental hospital. I went all in coding like a hacker at 3 AM, building systems for managing the lunatics, tracking supplies, power systems, more doors, cameras, proper 3D models, jump scares, pacing, the whole thing. I even released my second devlog about it, which felt great. Then life happened. Ooh, scary. Around the end of April, I had to deal with a lot of stuff that pulled me away from game dev and this channel. And aside from starting random projects where I wrote like 2 lines of code before abandoning them, nothing really came out that time. The horror game ended up in the void. Fast forward to July 30th, that's when GMTK Game Jam rolled around. I joined not because I wanted to score high, but just to get a fresh perspective on game dev and really make something fun again. The jam was 4 days long, so I thought plenty of time, but nope. Family reunions and life stuff cut that down to barely 10 hours of actual work. With that time, I focused on the art and kept the mechanics super simple. But honestly, the art was a big improvement compared to before. Even my family and friends noticed and gave me compliments, and I got some positive comments from the jam community too. That really boosted my confidence. Even though the game itself wasn't huge, the experience though left me feeling proud and, more importantly, recharged and ready to go. So that pretty much brings us to now. In the past 7 months, I managed to publish 3 little games, nothing crazy, but they are out there and they're all free to play if you want to check them out. Links are down below. Each one taught me something new, whether it was finishing my very first game, experimenting with horror, or learning to work under the pressure of a game jam. Even projects I abandoned along the way weren't failures, because they all give me experience I can carry into the next thing. Right now I've started a brand new project, and this time I'm determined to stick with it all the way to release. I've got the story planned out, the mechanics lined up, and now it's just about putting in the hours and actually building it piece by piece. I'll be sharing progress soon, and honestly I'm really excited to show how far I've come compared to when I first started. So yeah, that's been my game dev journey over the last 7 months. Lots of up and downs, a few finished games, plenty of half-baked experiments, and a ton of lessons learned. It's been chaotic, but also really rewarding. Anyway, thanks for following along with me. If you're curious to see where the journey goes next, stick around, the best is still ahead.